Good morning, everyone. It's Monday morning. The sun is shining. Let's hope it stays that way. I've been asked to go over a few different types of saws again, which I'd be happy to do. We have all sorts of different types of saws here. We have bow saws, one-man and two-man saws. There are also different types of teeth that are in these saws. Now this is a one-man saw. As you can see, it has a handle on the opposite end, which is very easily removed, maybe, today. You unscrew the handle, pop it off, put it in this end, and screw it back on. This gives the user a lot more control over the saw. But personally, I don't use them. I tend to use the saws just as they are, with just the D handle on the end. Here's one that's a little bit larger. This has the plain tooth. As you can see, the teeth are all pretty much the same. They go in opposite directions. Probably can't see that, but one tooth tends to gravitate that way and the other tooth gravitates this way, and they're opposite all the way down for a better cutting edge. One of my favorites for cutting smaller pieces of wood, such as firewood, limbs, and whatnot, is the wooden bow saw. Fairly simple and very easy to take apart and put back together. You have your little buckle, turnbuckle up on top. You have the threaded rods that go to each upright, and if you want to take it apart, you unscrew it. You can pop the blade out if you want to replace the blade, or if your blade gets a little bit loose, you could tighten it up by turning it the other way. Now I love these things. They're handy as heck. A little ungainly. As you can see, this one's fairly sharp, and they're more useful for smaller pieces of wood, like I said, firewood or branches. Those are most commonly seen hanging on people's garages or barns for ornamental pieces, but I save them, I keep them, sharpen them, and use them. Okay. We have a little bit longer chisel tooth, or champion tooth, with the rakers in between the teeth to rake out all the shavings. As you can see, this has a handle on this end. It's a little flimsier than the shorter saw, which it's easier if you have two people on a saw like this. And going on to the larger two-man. It's called a two-man for a reason, because this blade is very, very flimsy. It can be used as a one-man, but the blade will bind and it'll be just about impossible to cut with most of the time. So you need a person, one on each side, and the person on the other side will draw the blade to him or her, and then the person on my end would draw the blade back. You never push, because that's what binds the blade. Now these are fairly simple to use. I love that sound. You draw it. I'll start off fresh on a new piece. Draw it towards you, push it away. Draw it towards you, push it away. Now the only motion you're going to pretty much use is your elbow and shoulder. And you want to use the whole blade. You don't want to use just a portion. You want to use the whole blade. And as you can probably see, it's already cutting. A lot of work. And if you don't keep keep your elbows straight and your arms straight, you can bind the blade, such as that. Fairly simple to use, and if they're sharp, they will cut. And as I just showed you, if you don't keep the blade level, you can bind the saw. So you want to keep the blade as level as possible to make the cut. Or, see, if you don't, you're just chipping off the other end and you're binding the blade, reducing your effectiveness in cutting the piece of wood or log. Not much effort, as long as you have a sharp saw. There you go. Beautiful sawdust. Remember, always oil your saws before you put them away. You don't want any rust on your blades. Okay, now for a little something different. We're going to use a draw knife. Now, a draw knife has two handles and the blade in the center. As you can see, it's flat on this edge and it's beveled on this edge. It's used for removing material. It can be used for debarking logs. As you can see, this is nice and sharp. When the pieces come off, they're curled. That's how you know you have a sharp blade, and it's fairly effortless. You can use it bevel side up. It removes a little less material, gives you a little more accuracy in your cut, as you can see. And if you use it bevel side down, you can take a deeper cut and be less accurate in your cut. I like to plane my wood using a draw knife. I use a draw knife quite a bit. As you can see, get down the wood. The wood's wet, so it's a little difficult to use a knife on, but there you have it. Nice sharp draw knife will pull shavings like this. Now, a lot of the shavings, when you get the larger shavings, they can be placed in water. They can be placed in water, softened up, and they can be used for weaving baskets. Not pieces this small. This sawhorse I have this log on is a little a little flimsy, so I'm kind of leaning into it here to hold it in one place. But when you get down to the heart of the wood, or the meat of the wood itself, and away from the bark, you can take longer cuts and you can save all those shavings to be used for baskets or packed baskets, whatever. If it wasn't so wet, I wouldn't have to rattle back and forth here. But unfortunately, we've had quite a bit of rain. So there's your draw knife. Very easy to use. And once you get one section cut down to where you want it and you want to level out the other side, you go the opposite way. Right now I'm just peeling bark. A lot of the structures, if you use these logs such as this to build structures, you want to get the bark off of it. Bark retains water. Water between the bark and the wood can cause rot and premature destruction of your structure. So you're a lot better off getting all the bark off. And there we have it. Nice long piece. It'll probably break because it's not soaked through, but you can get shavings that are quite a bit longer than this, and they can be broken apart used for baskets, like I said before 100 times. Or you can dry this out. I'm going to keep this, I'm going to dry it out, and I'm going to use it in my tinder box for starting fires. So there we have it. The draw shave or the draw knife. Different types of saws. Good start to a week. Enjoy your week, folks. Have a good day.